Hello and welcome to Recess with PunkinFutz. I'm your host, Miss Rebecca, and today we are joined by Polly. Hi, Polly. So before we begin, I would like to thank all of the essential workers out there that are still plugging and chugging away at this pandemic to make it safe for all of us out there. So thank you all of the frontline workers. And Polly, would you like to join me in thanking all the grown-ups out there?
I would love to.
Yes. Okay. So on the count of 3, we're going to say thank you, grown-ups. So are you ready? We're going to look left. We're going to look right. We're going to look up. We're going to look down. And we're going to find wherever your grown-up is and say thank you. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, grown-ups.
That was fantastic. All right, Polly. So this is your second time on Recess, and you're a founder of a circus. If I got that right. Can you tell us a little bit about Polaris Circus Arts and yourself?
Sure. So I am a circus artist. I specialize as an aerial acrobat, which means I like to go up, up, up in the air on some fabrics or on a hoop and turn myself upside down and do all kinds of tricks in the air. And I also really love to teach circus, which means that I like to go to schools or camps or programs and share how to do circus with kids. And sometimes we will go up in the air, but we'll also do things like tumbling and juggling and balancing and being clowns and all sorts of fun things. So part of being an artist is sharing that and teaching that to others.
That sounds fantastic, Polly. I'm really jealous of your aerial art ability. I don't think that I could do that, but I dreamt when I was young, I really wanted to be a trapeze artist. Like that was like the one thing, or a tightrope walker, but I'm just not, I don't think I could do that.
Well, you can't do anything until you try it.
Very true. This is very true. Yeah, maybe I should go and they do have that thing in New York on the water, right? They've got that trapeze school.
We've got several trapeze schools in New York City. One of them does go up on the water. They've got another site in Brooklyn. That's the Trapeze School of New York. I work with the Streb Lab for Action Mechanics in Williamsburg. They have an indoor trapeze rig where instead of a net, you land in a giant airbag. It kind of looks like a bouncy castle.
Just falling would be fun in that case.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Polly, I'm not going to take up any more of our time with you. I want you to show all of our community your bubbles. You've got some really cool bubbles, which I got a preview of, and it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. So we have some people tuning in. We have Joseph Bursch, if I said that correctly. How you doing?
Hi.
fine. And I will put, if you want to make any comments, requests, or you want to, tell Polly hello, we will put it in the comments, and we'll snap it onto this live thing here. And that's about it. So good luck, Polly. I will see you on the flip side. So have fun.
All right. So that's right. I love all things circus. And one of the things I love to do, other than flipping and flying and all that, is that I really, really love to play with bubbles. So today I'm going to show everyone out there some of my favorite things to do with bubbles. And maybe some of them are things that you can try too. All right? So to start off, I have a little bit of bubble juice. I like to call my mixture bubble juice, all ready to go. And today with my bubbles, instead of using my wand, I'm not going to use my wand today. I'm going to use a straw. And now, usually when I use a straw, I would suck up the liquid through the straw. I do not want to do that with my bubble juice. It will put bubbles in my mouth. And guess what? Bubbles are mostly soap. That does not taste good. So today, instead of sucking up the straw, I'm going to blow out of the straw. So I'm going to start by dipping my straw in my bubble juice. And then I'm going to hold it right below my bubble wand, which has a little bit of juice on it too. I can see, it's hard to see through the camera, but there's a little film filling up that wand. And I'm going to take my straw and put it right below the wand. And I'm going to blow a little bubble. And when I want the bubble to stop, I'm going to push the straw forward and pull it back. I'll show you. It's hard for me to talk and do it at the same time because I've got bubble straw in my mouth. All right, here I go. So I close the straw by pushing the bubble by pushing my straw forward. But now, one bubble is not quite enough for me. I'm going to make another bubble right below the first one. Oops, I need more juice. And another bubble. And another bubble. And another bubble. And I can link all of my bubbles together. All right? And I can make some different shapes with my bubbles. One shape I like to make is a cube. Now, do you know what a cube is? It's if you take a bunch of squares and stick them together. I brought a dice, which is a type of cube, and you need 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 together to make your cube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 6 bubbles to be the side of my cube, just like this dice. All right? Let's see, I need 6 bubbles. And you know what? Sometimes you might know this if you've ever played with bubbles. Bubbles pop. But if they do, I'm just going to make another one. All right, here I go. 6 bubbles. Whoops, need more juice. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, got to start over now. Get my wand. Get my bubble juice. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to go right into the middle. Whoops, my middle bubbles came to my outside. One more try. Right to the middle. And I'm going to blow up the inside. It came to the outside again. One more try. there's a cube right there in the middle of all of my bubbles. And that's how you take something round and make edges and sides out of it. I want to show you one more thing with my bubbles, which is that I, and you too, can make a bubble bounce. Did you know that? All you need is an article of clothing made with natural fibers. That means something like cotton. I'm going to use this bright yellow glove. And when I blow my bubbles, I'm going to very gently pat, bop my bubble with my glove. And oops, that one bounced, that one popped rather. And if I do it very lightly, I can bounce my bubble. My bubbles don't want to bounce today. Let's try one more time. Did you know that you can bounce a bubble? There we go. So see, you can experiment with different types of clothing, or maybe you have a little stretchy glove like mine, and bounce your bubbles. All right, so those are some of my little bubbles. And I do love my little bubbles. Oh, you know what? I've got one more for you before I go. This is one of my favorite bubble shapes. Before I move on, this is called a carousel. Now, you might have seen a carousel. It has horses or sometimes fish or other animals all around the outside. And that when it starts, everything goes around, 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 sometimes up and down, like the horse is running. And there's usually music playing. So this bubble trick goes round and round, just like our carousel. Whoops, got lots of little bubbles that time. All right. Are you ready for the carousel? It's going to go round and round. Here we go. Whoops. Hello. I didn't invite you, extra bubbles. All right. This carousel needs a takeover. Take two. Here we go. It wanted extra bubbles. I can understand. I always like more bubbles. All right, here we go. Our carousel. Round and round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Can you see it going around? I love that one. I like riding carousels too. Maybe one day I will make a bubble carousel on an actual carousel. We all got a dream. So these are some little bubbles. I want to show you now some bigger bubbles, but I want to make sure that you can make them too. Now for bigger bubbles, we need a bigger hole. So my straw had a very small hole. Even my bubble wand, you see, does not have a very big hole, so it cannot make very big bubbles. But we're going to make something bigger to make our bubbles with. And now you can buy, these are called bubble strings, and you can buy them. Here's one that I bought. It's got some strings between some sticks, but I like to make my own. And maybe you would want to make your own too. So there's a couple things I need. First thing I need is 2 sticks. And you can buy these at a hardware store or a craft store, or you can go out into the woods and find 2 sticks you like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, these are called screw eyes, and they're called that because I'm going to try to hold these up so that you can see them. They're called that because on one end, whoops, where'd it go? There's a little hole, and on the other end, it's threaded so that it can go, whoopsie doozle, my camera is backwards, so that it can go into the wood. So I take these and I twist them into the end of my stick so that there's a little circle hanging out of the end of my stick. Then I need 2 pieces of string. All right, and I've just got this nice cotton string. And I'm going to pick one string. I'm going to decide how long I want it to be. And I'm going to cut my string. And if you need some help from a grown-up, go ahead and ask them for some help. And then my second string needs to be twice as long as my first. So I'm going to use my first string to help me measure. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the first string. And then I'm going to turn it around so it goes all the way the other way. So now I've got it twice as long. And I'm going to cut my string. All right. So now I have a short string. Whoops. How do I show you? A short string and a long string. And I'm going to tie a short end to each stick and a long end to each stick. Now, the important thing with the long one is I want to add something heavy. This is called a washer. It's a little metal kind of donut shape, and that's going to make it heavy. That's going to help hold the bubbles down. So before I tie on the long string, I'm going to put that washer so that it hangs in the middle, all right? And I'm going to tie it right in the middle so that it stays there. And then I am ready with my strings attached to my sticks to make my giant bubbles. Are you ready to see some giant bubbles? I am so ready. So I've got on the floor here a big old bucket. Ooh, it's so heavy. That has bubble juice in it. And I made this bubble juice. And if you want to learn how to make bubble juice, you can visit the Polaris Circus Arts YouTube page, and it will show you how to make your own sticks and how to make your own bubble juice. Now, usually I do this outside. And of course, if I'm outside, I have my mask on. And I let the wind help me blow my bubbles. So I stick my sticks all the way in. I pull them all the way out with the strings closed. And then I open and I find my film. And I'm going to, whoops, I need some more juice. I'm going to open and I'm going to make some wind and pull the bubbles out of the string using the moving air. Just like that. All right. And if I'm outside and I feel a breeze, I can put the breeze behind me and let the breeze help me make my bubbles. But today, since I'm inside, I'm moving the sticks through the air slowly and letting it create a big pocket of air. And then to finish my bubble, the circle needs to close. So I'm bringing the sticks back together so that my triangle opens and closes to finish the bubble. Ooh. And sometimes I'll dance with my bubble if I brush past it to make a wind, or I can blow on my bubble. There's so many fun things I can do with my bubble. Whoosh. And I can just go outside for hours with my strings and my bubble juice and see how big I can make my bubbles and see how many bubbles I can make. I have so much fun playing with these bubbles. And because I am inside, parents at home, I have some towels down on the floor because there's a little bit of bubble water going everywhere. But outside on the grass, I am ready to go. Whoops. These bubbles are not wanting to play. Here we go. Gentle open. Catch the air. One more time. And when I'm making bubbles with friends, sometimes we like to pop each other's bubbles. And sometimes we like to keep our bubbles. So I always like to ask, is it okay if I pop your bubble before I pop someone's bubble? All right. And when I have the wind helping me, sometimes it'll make a great big bubble because it'll blow, 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 blow. But right now I'm having to make my own wind when I pull the string. Nice and gentle. This is a slow, gentle to make my bubbles. Now, of course, I don't even need my bubble strings to make a bubble. I could even use my hands. What? So I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to make a shape. Now, my shape needs to be closed, just like my bubble wand is a closed circle and my bubble string is a closed triangle. Anytime we want to make a shape with bubbles, it needs to be completely closed. So I'm going to make this shape with my fingers and thumbs touching. I'm going to dip it into my bubble juice and pull it out and blow. And I can even just make some bubbles with my hands. Whoopsie. Let's see, let's see, let's see. So you can even get, and of course you're going to get very soapy this way. It's a good way to start washing those hands. You can blow bubbles through your hands. All right. So when I'm outside playing, with my bubbles, I can use my wand, I can use my string, or just my fingers. And I do like to have a little bit of a towel when I'm done using my fingers to dry off a little bit. So that's how I play with bubbles outside. I want to show you a fun way I play with bubbles inside too. And for this, we're going to go on a little bit of a tour. Are you ready to come on an adventure with me? I'm going to show you my house a little bit. Ready? All right, here we go. Going on an adventure, seeing where the magic is made. All right, here we go. It's a little dark in the hallway, and I'm going to come all the way to the kitchen. Oh my goodness, welcome to the kitchen. Here we are, and I'm in the kitchen because I'm going to use my countertop for this. It's a big, flat surface. It's right next to the sink to help me clean up. And this is where we're going to try our last bubble experiment today. This is one of my favorite things, and you can definitely try this at home. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my surface a little bit wet. And this has a spray bottle. It just has water in it from the sink. That's all. I'm going to get it a little bit wet. And I'm doing that because bubbles don't like to be dry. If they touch something dry, they tend to pop. So I'm making my surface a little bit wet. If you don't have a spray bottle, you can just put some water in your hands, spread it around, okay? And then I've got my bubble juice. And sometimes I like to add this clear liquid. It's called glycerin. You can get it at the pharmacy. And it helps the bubbles hold together a little bit better. It stops them from popping. So I'm just going to put a drop or two of my glycerin, boop, boop, into my bubbles. And you can do this without. I just find that it makes them hold up a little bit better. Now, just like before, I'm going to dip my straw into my bubble juice. And I'm going to put the end of the straw right here on the counter so that it's touching. And I'm going to blow a bubble right there on the counter. And I can see how big I can blow my bubble. Let's see how big I can make one. That one didn't get very big at all. All right, bubble number 2. So I can make a nice big bubble on my counter. Maybe I'm going to get some more juice I'm going to go through that bubble and make another bubble inside of it. So now I have a bubble inside of a bubble. Oh my goodness, you think I can do a third one? I have to go through both bubbles this time. 1, 2 to the counter. Pop and pop. Boop. And I can try, maybe if I'm doing this with a sibling, a brother or sister, I can see who can make a bigger bubble. I can also try to make some shapes with my bubbles. Let's see if I put bubbles next to each other, what happens. Whoops, more bubble juice. So what if I make one there, and then I'm going to make another one right next to it. Whoops, more juice. And to me, that kind of looks like an igloo. Can you see that igloo shape? All right, or boop, boop. Let's try this one. This is one of my favorites. Okay, let's see. It's going to need 4 bubbles for this shape. I'm going to need a big bubble, and then I'm going to need a littler bubble here, and a littler and the same size as that second bubble, maybe over here. And then I'm going to put one bubble on the inside. What do you think it's going to look like? And to me, let me see if I can bring this up above so you can see. To me, oh, it's hard to see. It looks a little bit like a teddy bear with 2 ears and a nose. So what shapes can you make with your bubbles? Oh, now I gotta find the counter again. You could try to make a flower with petals all around. Whoops, more juice, more juice. So to make my petals all around, I'm gonna make little bubbles all around the outside. Now it looks kind of like a bear paw to go with my teddy bear with 4 bear toes. Oh, more juice. Oh no, I gotta blow faster. The front ones are hopping before I get to the back ones. Oh, boom. And then I start again. And remember, one of the reasons we're here is because we have a nice flat surface, but also when I'm all done, I will be able to help clean up. I'm just going to take my sponge or my towel and clean up all this bubble juice so that I do not leave a mess for anyone else. And always remember to close your bubbles when you're done, or you will have bubble juice everywhere. All right. So that, my friends, we have explored so many ways today to experiment with our bubbles. We learned how to make our sculpture. I showed you some of our sculptures, and we learned how to make our giant bubble strings and our giant bubbles and our countertop bubbles. So that is the fun I have for you today. Say goodbye to the kitchen. I'm coming on back. I have had so much fun making bubbles with all of you. And I hope you have a chance to keep exploring and playing with your bubbles.
Holly, I hope that our viewers like that as much as I did. I love the bubbles. Oh my gosh, it makes me want to play with the bubbles. I don't know about anybody else, but those big bubbles, how you make those big bubbles in the flower bubble, that was pretty cool. And I think the carousel might have been my favorite.
One day I will make a carousel on a carousel. That is my goal.
I think that would go viral if you tried that. I think that would definitely go viral. All right. Well, if our viewers would like to follow, you could follow Polly at Polaris Circus on Instagram, and you can also take classes from her on her Facebook page. They'll have links and whatnot. You can go there and you'll find all these things. So Polly, what's keeping you busy these days?
Well, I'm in New York City. I know we have viewers all over, but I'm in New York City, and right now the weather is getting warm. People want to get back outside, so we're actually doing a lot of bubble birthday parties outside. So kind of enjoying the warm weather, enjoying that so many of our friends have gotten vaccinated so we can start to hang out together again. So birthday parties are starting up again, and making some circus magic in between. We're starting to look at summer programming, and hopefully programming for the next school year, all of those things.
So cool. I wish that I was a kid so I could take your circus classes, but I guess as an adult you could probably take
I
circus.
think that I think bubbles are for everyone, first of all, but I definitely think that circus is for everyone as well.
It's definitely for everyone. I know that our founder also feels that way. She's a circus fan, and she was in the circus a little bit too. So yeah, that was a nice surprise when I first met her. So yeah, so thank you everyone for joining us, and especially thank you, Polly, for coming and showing everyone your bubble magic. That was so cool. And please join us next week also for Miss Nina. She's going to be back. I think it's her third time coming on the show. So we've had her a couple times and she's coming back. Enjoy your weekend. Wear a mask, stay safe, get vaccinated, social distance, wash your hands, all that fun stuff. So thank you again, Polly, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for making bubble fun with me, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.